Hey everybody, this is Peter with Cooking with Peter. Welcome to the show today. Today I'm going to be doing something really kind of old school style. If you remember years ago, if you're about the same age as me or maybe even a little younger, there was a restaurant in town called This One, and they made a dish that was called an enchirito. I loved it. It was one of my favorite things to get at that particular restaurant. So today I'm going to show you how to make a kicked up enchirito. Are you ready? Let's go. I want to go over a list of ingredients with you today. These recipes are very similar. I am making two separate videos. One is for an enchirito, the other one is for the Mexican pizza. So the enchirito will come out first, the Mexican pizza will follow in a week or two after that. So all of the ingredients for these dishes is almost the same. However, it's a matter of how do you put them together. But I'm going to show you two different things today that's really going to kick up this dish to the next notch. It all is a matter of how do you cook the ground beef. I know. How do you cook ground beef? It's really simple, but my sister showed me something recently that really kicked up our ground beef for tacos and Mexican food to the next level. I'm going to show you that today. Also, what's really important is the sauce that's going to go on top of this. This is a red enchilada sauce, and we're going to make it here today. I'm going to show you how. You could use a red enchilada sauce out of the can, but my opinion is that they're too bitter and they're too thin. So I'm going to show you how to make a thicker, really good, really delicious enchilada sauce. So let me go over the list of ingredients. Again, all the ingredients are pretty much the same for both of these. So we have some tortillas, of course. I'm going to be cooking the ground beef. Here I have a 1/4 of a cup of taco seasoning. This is just regular taco seasoning, nothing really special about it. Then I have 1/2 a cup of dried onion. And this is what's going to go into the ground beef, along with 1 cup of water, a little bit more than 1 cup of water. These ingredients right here are going to be kicking up the ground beef. All right, now let me talk to you about what the ingredients are in the sauce. In Robert and Prescott, Arizona, I know it's a lot of ingredients here, but bear with me, they're simple to find and this is simple to do. For the sauce, we have 2 cups of vegetable broth. You could use chicken broth. I just use the stuff from Better Than Bouillon. That's what I use, always. Here we have also 3 tablespoons of oil. That's just regular canola oil. We have 3 tablespoons of flour, right here, it's white flour. By the way, if you have somebody in your family who's gluten-free, you could also use a gluten-free flour for this with no problem at all. Here we have just a little bit of vinegar, which we're going to put in at the end of the sauce. Here we have 1 tablespoon of dark red chili powder. Now this is not a seasoning you'd put into a chili, it's actually called dark red chili powder. We have a teaspoon of cumin. We have 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 a teaspoon of garlic powder, and here I have some Mexican oregano, and I have about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. All of the ingredients are going to be down below in a link that will take you to my website, along with all the detailed instructions of how to put this together. Now later on, as we get these things put together, we're going to be needing some black olives, some diced tomatoes, and of course, we need some cheese. I realize it's a lot of ingredients, but they're simple to find and it's easy to do. Some things take more than 3 minutes in life, and so to get some really good food, we just got to put all these things together. It will come together quickly, all right? Let me show you how we're going to cook the ground beef because that's going to be maybe a little differential on how this comes out. Okay, here I have about a pound or so of ground beef. It's organic. I think I picked it up over at Costco in these packages. I think they come in a pack of 2 or 3. So just go ahead and put that in your pan. Now here's what the label says on the taco seasoning. Brown the meat first, take the fat and get it off, and then add the seasoning and the water. Disagree. You want to add everything right now because it makes a big difference on how this tastes. So I'm just going to smash up the beef a little bit. You can see what I'm doing here, just a little bit. And now I'm going to put in the onions, dried onions, Here we have the taco seasoning. And by the way, as I said before, all this information is down below. You can click the link, it will take you to my website, and you can download all these things, the recipe and all that. Go ahead and add the water now. What? Add the water now? No, that's not how you do it. Trust me. This is what's going to kick up your taco meat to the next level. Now what you want to do is you want to immediately start, and I'm sorry I don't have a third camera, but I'm trying to show you what I'm doing. I'm just smashing up the ground beef into little pieces. I'm going to start mixing all these things together, and while that water is evaporating, that's what's going to really help those dried onions and your seasoning to really get into that meat, and it's going to have a fantastic texture as well. What you want to do is you want to continue just to smash this up. Now you can see in here that there's a lot of water. Don't worry about that, because the water, you're going to give it time to evaporate. So keep on going and just keep on smashing up that ground beef, mix in the water, mix in the seasonings, mix in the onions. Okay, what I want to show you, look over here on this camera, you can see how small I have kept dicing up that meat. Really small and small pieces. That's what's really going to help this type of meal. Because if you remember, when you went to Taco Bell, places like that, the ground beef they have is very fine. And that's the reason you want to do that. All right, now I'm going to move this over to my regular stove and get it off my induction stove. And then I'm going to bring up and start showing you how to make this sauce while this cooks down. All right, be right back. Okay, now we're going to make the sauce for this red enchilada sauce. First of all, I've let this pan heat up a little bit. I'm going to be putting in my 3 tablespoons of just canola oil. Just let that start to heat up. A really good way, if you can tell if the canola oil is ready, if you just take a little flour, a pinch of flour like this, and you can start dropping it here. If it starts to sizzle, it's ready. We're going to be making a roux with the oil and the flour. And also you can go ahead and put the seasonings in now. What that's going to help do is it's going to help the spices to kind of bloom and give them a lot of flavor. So I put in the chili, the garlic powder, here's the cumin going in, salt, and here I have a little bit of the Mexican oregano and the cinnamon. You want to be whisking these up together, and you're just trying to make a roux before we start putting in the broth. It's coming along very nicely. Let me see that. Looks great. Now I'm going to be putting in the tomato paste. I have 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste. Drop those in and we'll mix that in. All right, so now we're just mixing this all up. Got a really good roux going. I'm going to slow the heat down a little bit. And now I'm going to start to pour in this vegetable broth. This is 2 cups of vegetable broth. And as I said before, I use the Better Than Bouillon vegetable base. Now I'm going to stir this until it starts to kind of thicken up a bit. It takes about 10 minutes for it to come together. And once it does, our sauce will be almost ready. Okay, my friends, it's time to put this enchirito together. So let me show you here how nice this ground beef came out. It's very good. It has some water content still here, some moisture, so it makes it nice and moist. Let me show you the sauce. Now the sauce has come together very nicely as well. Got a nice viscosity to it. It's not thin, it's not too thick. It's going to be just great for what we need. Now if you remember, they used to serve the enchiritos in a little bowl, like a black bowl. And I think it's made of paper probably, but I don't have any black bowls, so we're just going to use this white bowl. But I'm going to put it together on this plate, and then I'll move it over to the bowl to finish it off and put the sauce on there. Also, I want to show you that I put a little bit of that sauce, that enchilada sauce, into the beans. And that gave it a little bit better texture. These are canned beans, canned refried beans. You can make your own if you wish. I don't wish. So now I'm just going to put a bit of the refried beans in the middle. You don't want to be putting in too much. Remember, we have to fold all this up. Okay, you can see I have the beans there. Now I'll just put a bit of the ground beef on top. If you've ever made a burrito, hey, it's very similar to making a burrito. It's very similar. So pull this up like this, fold it over. Now we're just going to pull in the sides like that. Perfect. And now same thing. Use your fingers like this, just like that. And now we're just going to flop it over and put it into our bowl. I'm going to pull the sauce over here and I will ladle on some of this great enchilada sauce. All right, a little cheese goes on top, as you remember. Now just to make the cheese melt, I'm going to put this over in the microwave for about 15 or 20 seconds. Here we are so far. Now I got to put some olives on top because you can't have an enchilito without olives. How many of you are remembering the enchilito? I guarantee you I am. One of my favorite things at the Bell. And there we have it, my friends. There is the enchilito, home style, kicked up a notch or two, as Emerald would say. Let me go ahead and do the other one for us, just so you can remember. Remember, some beans on the bottom, a couple tablespoons of the ground beef. Fold this over. Fold this over. Push down the ends, fold those over. Fold that over. I got it a little too full, sorry about that. Flip it over. Now we're going to add some sauce on top. Wow. That brings back so many memories for me. I love this. A little cheese on top. I'll put it in the microwave in a couple of minutes. Don't want to waste your time. And put some olives here on the top of that. And there we have that one too, my friends. There's another great enchilito. All right, my friends, there's only one more thing to do with this enchilito, and that is to taste it. I have been looking forward to this all day. Got to give it a whirl. Got to get that olive in there, because that olive is really part of that enchilito. It's the enchilito kicked up to levels unknown. That sauce is really what makes it. Cooking the ground beef, the way that I showed you, really kicks that up as well. The flavor is fantastic all the way through. It is such a great dish, super simple. I know you can do it. It took me like 10 minutes to make the ground beef, to cook that. It took about 10 minutes to make the sauce. It really couldn't be easier. So put it all together, have some fun with this, and remember some good times of the past. Thanks very much for watching the video today. I really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Please give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you would like to become a supporting member of the channel, as so many others have, you can just click the link down below and you can become a supporting member. All right, thanks again for watching the video today. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.